So let's get caught up. Let me tell you guys what's been going on here. I know you probably see this big I quit sign on the screen here, and yes, I quit. I quit my job. I quit Instacart. I just quit, right? I'm just at a point in my life where if I'm not happy, I just refuse to do it. So let's start with Instacart. Nothing new. The batches suck. The distances are too long. The items are too high. And now with the price of gas, you want me to do that for what? Absolutely not. I'm not doing it. It's just not worth it. I honestly feel like you can make more working at fast food than you can at Instacart. And the same wasn't true a year ago. And so for me, it is a no-brainer. It's just time to stop doing Instacart until they understand that the drivers need to be compensated better. Now, in addition to doing Instacart, I also had a full-time job as an account executive. So long story short, I quit that job a few weeks ago. My manager apparently was having a bad day and he felt the need to come into the office and spread that energy around. And don't get that on me. So he said some things to me that I thought were pretty disrespectful and pretty unprofessional. And so I returned the decorum. And after I returned the decorum, I quit because I sat there thinking to myself, you continue to work in these places that you do not want to be. You continue doing jobs that you do not want to do. Why don't you just stick to the plan? And the game plan has always been work for yourself full time. But for whatever reason, I continue to go back and forth because I'm just so conditioned to believe that I have to have a full-time job. So I have businesses, I start businesses, but I will not give them that full-time commitment. So after this most recent incident, I made a pledge to myself that we're going to give this thing a full-time go. So as many of you probably already know, I do have a cargo van, and that cargo van was purchased with the intention of starting my own transport company. So we are in the process, you guys, of starting the transport company officially and not just using it for sort of little one-off gigs. We're going to really make a go of this. We're going to get on all of the load boards. We're going to walk you guys through the process. So if you are feeling inspired and you want to maybe start your own transportation company, because in addition to starting the transportation company, we're also going to be starting a dispatching company to work as a companion to that transport company. So we're going to be building two businesses at once, but they're both going to be in the same LOB, and that's line of business. So I'm going to take you guys through the process. So if you're like me and you've been out there Instacarting and you want something different, stay tuned. The first step in my process was to go ahead and get all of my EINs. And if you haven't done that, if you're not familiar with the process of how to get an EIN, I can walk you through how to obtain that. It's really, really easy. And after that, we headed over to the FMCSA website, which is what you see here. And this is where you're going to apply for your authority if you want to have your own transportation company. Two things you're going to need after you file for your authority, which costs $300 on average. You're going to need insurance, commercial insurance, and you're also going to need a BOC3. Okay, so let's talk briefly about what is happening on your screen right now. So as I mentioned earlier, we are on the FMCSA website, and you're watching me actually going through the initial stages of the application process in order to gain my authority. Now, authority, which is terminology that most of us are unfamiliar with, or jargon. Authority simply means your Department of Transportation number and your MC or your motor carrier number. This is where those numbers will be issued to you. This is where that authority comes to you from. So this is why it is referred to as your authority. So if you want to do things the correct way, if you want access to the load boards, it is going to be essential for you to have your MC and your DOT number unless you're driving under someone else's authority, which again would make you a contracted worker and not necessarily your own business owner, which is precisely what we want to be. So we're going to obtain our own authority so we can do things on our own terms and conditions, because it is about doing things the way that we want to do them. So anyhow, take a look at this application process if you have any questions about it, because it will vary based on the type of vehicle that you have. I have a cargo van, which requires, according to the FMCSA, approximately $300,000 worth of commercial insurance. So beware if you're out there and you're thinking about getting a cargo van. A lot of them will try to sell you million dollar policies, and you don't need that. It's approximately $300,000. Now that could vary based on the company that you're carrying for, but as a minimum requirement is $300,000. I'll see you guys in the next video.